Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo solved the impossible parking equation by making you prove you have a spot before buying a car. The city requires a Shakashomiai certificate showing you own or rent parking within 2 kilometers of your home. No parking proof, no car registration, no exceptions. This simple rule reduced vehicle ownership by 40% in dense neighborhoods while keeping streets clear. The city deployed 1.6 million mechanical parking spaces that stack cars like Tetris blocks. These automated towers fit 8 vehicles in the space of 2 traditional spots. Park your car, scan your ticket, and a robot stores it underground in 90 seconds. Tokyo Station alone has 4,000 underground automated spaces serving commuters who actually take the train. Parking fees start at $300 monthly in central districts, making that train pass look brilliant. The system works because Tokyo designed policy and infrastructure. Together, not against each other. They proved that limiting parking doesn't kill cities. It makes them thrive. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Amsterdam built park and ride facilities that actually make sense instead of forcing cars into the city center. The city operates 12P+ are locations on the edges where parking costs just €1 per 24 hours if you use public transit. That's not a typo. €1 gets you parking plus discounted metro access into the city. These facilities hold 6,000 cars and connect to tram lines that run every 6 minutes during rush hour. Meanwhile, parking in the center costs €7.50 per hour, creating an obvious choice for rational humans. The city installed 863,000 bike parking spaces, more spots than Amsterdam has residents. The 3-story bike garage at Central Station holds 7,000 bicycles with automated retrieval systems. Amsterdam removes 1,500 car parking spots annually while adding bike infrastructure and pedestrian zones. The result? A city where 68% of trips happen by bike or walking. They proved parking policy can guide behavior without punishing people. Singapore. Singapore turned parking into a smart system that thinks faster than frustrated drivers circling blocks. The city launched a real-time parking app showing availability in 9,000 parking facilities across the island. Sensors detect empty spots and update every 30 seconds, eliminating the endless search. Dynamic pricing adjusts rates based on demand, making off-peak parking 50% cheaper than rush hour. The government's Certificate of Entitlement system caps total vehicles, costing $76,000 just for the right to own a car. This makes parking management easier because Singapore controls supply at the source. HDB car parks serve 80% of residents with organized basement parking integrated into housing blocks. Electronic road. Pricing charges $3 to $6 for entering the business district, reducing traffic by 45% during peak hours. The city collects parking data to optimize urban planning and predict future transportation needs. Singapore proved that expensive parking isn't punishment when alternatives work perfectly. Copenhagen, Denmark. Copenhagen systematically removed 2 to 3% of parking spaces every year since the 1990s and became more prosperous. The city eliminated 3,500 spots from the medieval center while retail spending increased by 30%. Those parking spots became bike lanes, outdoor cafes, and public squares that generate more economic activity. Straget, the world's longest pedestrian street, was once a parking lot and now hosts 250,000 daily visitors. The city built peripheral parking connected to metro lines running every 2 minutes into the center. Businesses initially protested the parking removal, but now report 40% higher revenues than car-dependent districts. Copenhagen allocated parking revenue to cycling infrastructure, creating a 380-kilometer network used for 62% of commutes. The city proved that parking abundance and urban vitality are inversely related, not connected. Fewer cars meant more people, more spending, and better quality of life for everyone. Zurich, Switzerland. Zurich implemented a parking cap in 1996 and hasn't added a single net parking space since. The city operates on cap and trade. New parking requires removing the same amount elsewhere in the city. This policy froze parking at 210,000 spaces while population grew by 15% and the economy boomed. Developers who want parking must buy spaces from others or eliminate them from less valuable locations. The system created a market where parking has real cost, forcing intelligent allocation of limited urban space. Park and ride facilities on city edges offer 5,000 spots with tram connections every 7 minutes. Blue Zone resident parking uses digital permits that cost $360 annually, discouraging unnecessary car ownership. The result is a city where 70% of commuters use public transit, despite high income levels. Zurich's GDP per capita leads Europe while car ownership remains 50% below the Swiss average. They proved prosperity doesn't require parking lots on every corner. Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne installed 6,500 in-ground sensors across the CBD that detect parking occupancy in real time. These sensors feed data to apps showing available spots with 95% accuracy, updated every minute. Drivers save an average of 17 minutes per trip by navigating directly to open spaces. The city implemented demand-based pricing that adjusts hourly, charging $8 during peak times and $3 in off hours. This variable pricing spreads demand throughout the day, reducing the dreaded lunchtime parking crisis by 40%. Sensors also revolutionized enforcement, automatically detecting expired meters and sending inspectors only when needed. The city reduced parking inspector staff by 30% while increasing compliance to 89%. Melbourne's system generated $180 million annually, funding public transit and pedestrian infrastructure improvements. The Park Melbourne app integrates payment, allowing drivers to extend time remotely without returning to the meter. They proved that smart technology solves parking problems better than adding more spaces. Oslo, Norway. Oslo removed 760 parking spaces from the city center and replaced them with bike lanes and parks. The city banned private cars from downtown in 2019, keeping only taxis, deliveries, and disabled parking. Electric vehicle owners enjoy free parking and charging at 2,600 public stations throughout the city. This incentive drove EV adoption to 85% of new car sales, the world's highest rate. Park and ride facilities on the outskirts connect to electric buses running on biogas and renewable energy. The city installed solar panels on parking structures, generating 12 megawatts of clean energy annually. Oslo's parking policy reduced city center emissions by 30% within 3 years of implementation. Local businesses reported 18% revenue increases after car-free zones attracted more pedestrian traffic and outdoor dining. The city proved environmental parking policy creates economic opportunity, not hardship for merchants. Oslo shows that parking reform and climate action work together perfect. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona's superblock model reclaimed 60% of street parking and gave it back to people. The city created 9 block zones where interior streets prioritize pedestrians, bikes, and play areas over cars. Peripheral roads handle through traffic while interior zones limit speeds to 10 kilometers per hour. This design eliminated 3,000 parking spots, but increased foot traffic by 82% in affected neighborhoods. The city built underground automated parking garages on superblock edges, fitting 200 cars in spaces that held 50 before. These facilities charged €25 daily, while street parking disappeared, creating clear economic incentives. Local businesses in superblocks saw revenue jump 30% as streets became destinations instead of throughways. Loading zones allow resident and delivery access during specific hours, maintaining functionality without dominating space. The model transformed 13 hectares of asphalt into plazas, reducing local temperatures by 2 degrees Celsius. Barcelona proved parking abundance and neighborhood quality are incompatible goals. Call to action. Parking solutions exist, and cities worldwide prove they work when designed intelligently. These cities chose to prioritize people over parking and became more prosperous, not less. Good urban design elevates life instead of trapping it in endless traffic. Like this video if your city deserves better parking policy. Subscribe for more urban planning solutions.